10 ruthless rulers who rivaled history's infamous tyrants. What if I told you that Adolf Hitler wasn't even the most ruthless ruler in human history? You think you know evil. You think you understand cruelty. But the 10 rulers I'm about to reveal make Hitler look tame by comparison. These are leaders who didn't just kill their enemies. They turned suffering into an art form. They made genocide a government policy. They redefined what human cruelty could look like. And here's the shocking part. Most people have never heard half these names. Let's dive into the darkest chapters of human history. Starting with number 10, Vlad the Impaler. You know him as the inspiration for Dracula. But the real Vlad was far more terrifying than any vampire. This 15th century prince of Wallachia didn't just execute his enemies, he impaled them on wooden stakes. Slowly, while they were still alive. Picture this, thousands of people writhing in agony, lined up along roads leading to his castle, left there for days as a warning to anyone who dared oppose him. Vlad once received Ottoman envoys who refused to remove their turbans in his presence. His response: he had the turbans nailed directly to their heads. Historical accounts suggest tens of thousands died this way during his reign. That's not just murder. That's psychological warfare designed to break the human spirit. But Vlad is nothing compared to number 9. Ivan the Terrible. This Russian Tsar earned his nickname through sheer paranoid brutality. In 1570, Ivan suspected the city of Novgorod of treason. His solution? Complete annihilation. He surrounded the city with his forces. For weeks, they tortured and killed anyone they could find. Men, women, children. Nobody was spared. The death toll reached somewhere between 2,000 and 15,000 people. An entire city's population decimated based on suspicion alone. The worst part? There was no actual treason. It was all in Ivan's paranoid mind. This single massacre destroyed Novgorod's prominence in Russia forever. Moving to number 8, Emperor Nero. This Roman emperor turned cruelty into entertainment. While ancient sources debate whether he actually played music during Rome's Great Fire, what's undisputed is what came after. Nero blamed Christians for the fire. His punishment? He turned their executions into public spectacles. Christians were covered in tar and set on fire to light his garden parties. Others were sewn into animal skins and thrown to wild dogs for sport. Nero didn't just rule through fear. He made torture into entertainment for the masses. Number 7 brings us to Genghis Khan. This Mongol conqueror didn't just build the largest land empire in history. He erased entire populations to do it. When cities surrendered immediately, he might show mercy. When they resisted, he showed none whatsoever. His psychological warfare was brutal. He would completely annihilate one city, then send survivors to neighboring cities to describe what they witnessed. Can you imagine being that messenger? Having to tell people exactly how their neighbors died, knowing the same fate awaited them? Estimates suggest up to 40 million people died during his conquests. That's roughly 11% of the world's population at the time. Think about that number. 1 in every 10 people on Earth died because of this man's ambition. Comment below if you can guess which ruler takes the number 6 spot. Pol Pot, leader of Cambodia's Khmer Rouge from 1975 to 1979. In just 4 years, this man tried to reset human civilization to year 0. Pol Pot believed cities were corrupt. Education was dangerous. Modern society needed to be destroyed completely. So he emptied every city in Cambodia, forced millions into labor camps, made intellectuals work rice fields until they died of exhaustion. If you wore glasses, you were probably educated. Execution. If you spoke foreign languages, you were a threat. Execution. If you showed emotion when family members died, you weren't loyal enough. Execution. An estimated 1.5 to 2 million people died. That's 1/4 of Cambodia's entire population. Gone in 4 years. The killing fields are still littered with human bones. physical evidence of what happens when ideology becomes more important than humanity. Number 5 takes us to Africa, King Leopold II of Belgium. From 1885 to 1908, Leopold personally controlled the Congo Free State. Not for his country, for himself. His goal was simple: extract as much rubber and ivory as possible, at any cost. Congolese workers who didn't meet quotas had their hands cut off. Children were held hostage to force parents to work. Entire villages were burned for failing to produce enough rubber. Up to 10 million people died under his rule. That's nearly half of Congo's population at the time. Leopold never even set foot in Congo. He orchestrated this genocide from the comfort of his Belgian palace. Number 4 brings us to modern China. Mao Zedong. Mao's policies killed more people than any other leader in human history. The Great Leap forward alone resulted in 30 to 45 million deaths from starvation. But here's what makes Mao unique. He didn't kill out of hatred or paranoia. He killed out of ideology. He genuinely believed his policies would create a better world. The Cultural Revolution saw millions more persecuted and killed as Mao sought to enforce pure communist ideology. Teachers were beaten by their students. Intellectuals were sent to labor camps. Families were torn apart for having the wrong political opinions. Mao's total death count reaches an estimated 65 million people, more than the entire population of the United Kingdom. Number 3, Joseph Stalin. Stalin's Soviet Union was a machine designed to consume its own people. The Great Purge from 1936 to 1938 saw millions executed or sent to gulags based on fabricated charges. But Stalin's masterpiece of cruelty was the Holodomor, a man-made famine in Ukraine from 1932 to 1933. Stalin deliberately starved 3.5 to 5 million Ukrainians by confiscating their grain and preventing them from leaving their villages. People resorted to eating grass, bark, and leather. Families cannibalized their own dead children to survive. All because Stalin wanted to break Ukrainian resistance to collectivization. His total death count reaches approximately 20 million people, and unlike other tyrants, Stalin ruled for nearly 30 years. That's 3 decades of systematic murder and oppression. Number 2 might surprise you. Kim Il-sung. This North Korean dictator established a totalitarian regime in 1948 that continues to this day under his successors. Kim created a system where 3 generations of families are punished for one person's crime, where children are taught to report their parents for disloyalty. Political prison camps house an estimated 200,000 people in conditions so brutal that survival rates are minimal. But Kim's true evil lies in creating a system of oppression so complete that it outlived him. His grandson still rules North Korea today using the same methods. That brings us to number 1, Idi Amin. Amin ruled Uganda from 1971 to 1979. In just 8 years, he turned a relatively stable country into a living nightmare. His victims ranged from 100,000 to 500,000 people. But numbers don't capture Amin's unique brand of sadism. He expelled Uganda's entire Asian population, destroying the country's economy overnight. He allegedly kept the heads of his enemies in his freezer and talked to them regularly. He declared himself the conqueror of the British Empire and demanded to be carried by white men in a sedan chair. Amin's erratic behavior and brutal policies led to Uganda's complete international isolation. What makes these rulers so terrifying isn't just their body counts. It's how they created systems that made ordinary people complicit in murder. They understood something dark about human psychology. That, given the right circumstances, anyone can become a monster. They turned children into executioners, neighbors into informants, love into a weapon of state control. These aren't just historical curiosities. These are warnings. Every single one of these regimes started with people thinking it could never happen to them. So what do you think? Which of these rulers shocked you the most? Did any of these stories change how you view the potential for human cruelty? And most importantly, what warning signs should we watch for to prevent history from repeating itself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this video opened your eyes to the darkest chapters of human history, hit that like button and subscribe for more shocking historical truths. And don't forget to check the video description for all the sources and references used in this video. I've included links to historical databases, academic resources, and primary sources so you can dive deeper into these stories.